What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so let's get to this. So, I have a video request from the brother Kevin Ramos, a $20 donation via the PayPal. He says, "What if Marty Schottenheimer had traded Philip Rivers to New Orleans instead of trading Drew Brees?" Now, I will admit the NFL is not my forte. My favorite sports have always been the NBA, boxing, and to a degree, at least the 90s into early 2000s, Major League Baseball. Despite the fact that I look like I'm a linebacker or was a linebacker, football has never been my favorite sport. Um, I don't even really watch it like I used to. And I was a casual when I watched it. So, I mean, I know about the Bills and their history. I know about some of the larger market teams that, of course, been covered: the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Redskins, the Giants. I know, historical figures. I know who are the greats. But about today's game, I don't know as much about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of still stuck in the Tom Brady era. So forgive me if my analysis here is not up to my normal standards. But I will say this. Just in the research that I've done, that's why it took me a while to get to this one. Um, you would think that since Drew Brees is considered the superior of the two quarterbacks between Philip Rivers and Drew Brees, and that's no knock on Philip Rivers, because you make an argument he's the greatest quarterback never to win a Super Bowl, at least from a statistical standpoint. Um, but I tend to think, though, that if Drew Brees stayed in San Diego and Philip Rivers went to New Orleans, Drew Brees may not have become as prolific a passer as he ultimately became, and Philip Rivers may have been even better if he went to New Orleans. It's possible, but I can't say for certain. Philip Rivers was acquired, I believe, by the Chargers in a draft day. I think it was a draft day trade. Let me make sure I get this right now. I believe Philip Rivers was acquired by the Chargers in a draft day trade. He was initially with the New York Giants. At least he was selected by the Giants. The Chargers had selected Eli Manning. They swapped picks. And I believe in that trade, the Chargers acquired the number one overall pick. And with that pick, they selected Sean Merriman. All right. And Sean Merriman was the anchor for that great defense those Chargers teams had in the late 2000s. That also had a potent offense. And they had a lot of great success. I remember one of those years, the Chargers were actually pegged to be a Super Bowl favorite, but it didn't work out for them. I think one of those years he won 12 or 13 games. I do remember some season like that. I want to say it might have been 2008, 2009, 2010, or something like that. But Drew Brees also has maintained that the throwing coach, the quarterback's coach with the Saints had a lot to do with unlocking his true potential as a passer. And also, it's been a given that Sean Payton had a lot to do with the development and the advancement of and the improvement of Drew Brees as a quarterback and as a passer. So you can make an argument that if Drew Brees stays with the Chargers, maybe initially those Chargers teams are better with Drew Brees than Phillip Rivers, maybe. And that year they won 13 games. Maybe if everything goes right, maybe they go to a Super Bowl, and maybe they win it all. But in the long run, I don't know if Drew Brees is the same quarterback if he stays with the Chargers. I don't know. I don't know if he's the same guy. There also seems to have been, obviously, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong with this, there seems to have been some sort of acrimony. Like I said, I'm really not a huge football guy. But there seemed to have been some sort of acrimony between Drew Brees and Marty Schottenheimer. Now, I don't know whether it was a business decision why he traded Drew Brees or whether it was more than just a calculation of who would be more valuable to him as a player. But I get the feeling, especially based upon, Drew Brees just recently was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I saw some things he said about Marty Schottenheimer with accusing him of nepotism. That don't mean they had bad blood. It just could be something that he thought that he did. But, it is what it is. Now, if Phillip Rivers played New Orleans, as great as his numbers are overall with the Chargers, and they're great. He threw for over 400 touchdowns, only had 200 interceptions, 65% completion rate, almost 64,000 passing yards, well over 5,000 career completions. As great as his numbers are altogether, I think he could have won even. I think he could have had even better numbers playing New Orleans, right? Even better numbers. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. It's a lot of different things you got to look at. I do know that Drew Brees was considered too diminutive to be a dominant quarterback in today's NFL, and he proved that wrong. Because I want to say Drew Brees was, 5'11"? Not a tall guy. But he proved that wrong, right? So, like I said, it's hard for me to say, man. Another thing I will say is this. Marty Schottenheimer, for what I remember, always had this tendency. I don't know what it was. It's just he always blew big games. He was a great coach, but his lack of playoff success is almost like he was I hate to say it, like the Doc Rivers of the NFL. He's a great regular season coach, but he found a way. But I can't even say Doc Rivers because Doc Rivers did win a championship. Marty Schottenheimer just always seemed to blow it in the big game. So why would that trend not continue just because he has Drew Brees, not Phillip Rivers? So I tend to think that if Drew Brees stayed with the Chargers, his career would have been a little worse. I think it would have been a little worse. There's a possibility that those teams are a little bit improved in the 2000s. Maybe, just maybe, he wins a Super Bowl. I'm not sure. But I tend to think, though, that if Phillip Rivers is traded to the Saints, they may still win that Super Bowl that they won, what was it, 2009, I think it was. So that's kind of, or was it 2010? I think it was 2009. But anyway, when you look at these guys, they're all remarkable. Drew Brees. Well, actually, look at Phillip Rivers first. NFL Comeback Player of the Year 2013, 8-time Pro Bowler, NFL passing yards leader, NFL passing touchdowns co-leader, NFL passer rating leader, NFL completion percentage leader in 2013. I should have been naming the years. San Diego Chargers 50th anniversary team. Shares the NFL record with Nick Foles and Ryan Tannehill, 25 consecutive passing completions. 64.9% career completion percentage. 425 touchdowns versus 212 interceptions. 63,984 passing yards. A 95 career passer rating. Drew Brees is even better. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, two-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 2008, 2011, NFL Comeback Player of the Year, 2004, first team All-Pro, 2006, four-time second team All-Pro, 2008, 2009, 2011, 2018, 13-time Pro Bowler, seven-time NFL passing yards leader, four-time NFL passing touchdowns leader, two-time NFL passing rating leader, six-time NFL completion percentage leader, New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame, AP Athlete of the Year 2010, SI Sports Person of the Year 2010, Burt Bell Award 2009, Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year 2006, Maxwell Award 2000, rest of his collegiate stuff. A 67.7% career completion percentage, 571 touchdowns versus 243 interceptions, 80,358 passing yards, 98.7 passer rating, 752 rushing yards, 25 rushing TDs. Man, so he definitely had a better career, but I'm wondering if a lot of it had to do with how much of a mess he was with the New Orleans Saints. Marty Schottenheimer, AFL, well, that was as a player. AP NFL Coach of the Year 2004, UFL Coach of the Year 2011, won the UFL Championship in 2011. As a head coach in the NFL, 200 career victories, 126 losses, one tie, a 61.3% win percentage. And when you combine the postseason, it goes down quite a bit because in the postseason, Marty is just 5-13. So that's kind of the stigma on him, man. You know, Marty just somehow always blew these games in the postseason that he was often in a position where he should have won or had a great chance of winning. So I guess in a nutshell, I'm saying that if Drew Brees stays in San Diego, I'm not certain how much better he would be. I don't think his numbers are the same. I think his numbers are a little bit worse. And I don't know if he has even a Super Bowl. Whereas I think if Phillip Rivers got traded to the Saints, it's a possibility that he might still win a Super Bowl. It's hard to say. A little bit less certain about how that would go. But I do think that if Drew stayed with the Chargers, he may not be as successful. It's hard to say, man. With football, there's a lot of different things you got to look at. Football player, it's like as great as a quarterback is, there's a lot of other moving parts that affect the game. So it's just hard to say. Man, tell me what you guys think.